This is Duke University.
I answered an ad. Like I was, before that, I had been doing, I've always been an artist, and I actually answered another ad to take mural painting classes at a Chicano Art Center, and that's where I met Chicano artists, and Chicano artists taught me, you can, I think they noticed that I was pissed off all the time, so you can put that in the art, you can put political stuff in art. That's what Chicano art is. It's like a protest art. And so you can make a pretty picture, but you can also infuse it with meaning, and not the way that the art world wants you to, which is, bland and whatever sells, but it's more like, it's what is inside you, but what's inside your community, So, so a series of ads I answered and led to this. I started editorial cartooning when I was in college, and I really started drawing, it runs in my family, so it kind of, I was the first one in my family to be able to make a living from it. And when I was in college, as in most editorial cartoonists, were always the editorial cartoonist for the school paper, for the college paper. So I was a cartoonist at San Diego State. So back then, I really hated school spirit and stuff like that. So, and Ronald Reagan. So he was the president at the time. So I got the most hate mail at the school paper. And my nickname was "Please Forward My Hate Mail." And then now I picked another equally unpopular thing, championing immigrants' rights. So this is my comic strip, La Cucaracha. It started running, so I started doing editorial cartoons, and then I moved to Los Angeles. The LA riots happened, and then I was invited by the LA Weekly to do a weekly comic, and it was called LA Cucaracha. And from that evolved this daily strip. After about 15 years of that, I pitched a daily comic strip, and it's La Cucaracha, and it has been running since about 2000 and I want to say 3 or 4, and I'm blanking out right now on that. But it's just about a group of friends reacting to the issues of today. My heroes are Dewsbury, Bloom County, Breath. Here's a cartoon I did with the immigrant crossing sign on the border, and this one I did it's to Arizona SB 1070, the racist laws, the Show Me Your Papers law, which figures prominently in the first episode of Bordertown. So I'll recall that later. This sign, I've done lots of cartoons using this imagery because it's a great sign. But I posted this on my Facebook page, and one of my friends said, "That's a cool cartoon, but why do you have 3 pregnant punk rockers running across it?" It went viral this week thanks to Donald Trump. And actually, I gotta thank Donald Trump for the great, easy summer I've had. Just basically rewriting whatever he says. We all know the Trump piñata is the most popular piñata in the US and Mexico. And so here I did, early on, right after his comments against Mexican immigrants, I drew him as a piñata. And eventually built this one also as an installation. I should have put the picture in, and it was at a big convention in LA, and we built the, I had this printed out on plywood, and it hung with, and I made the piñata sticks below, and representing the people. What's been interesting about the Donald Trump phenomenon is that he's unified different Latino groups against him, and he, not just Mexican immigrants and not just Mexican Americans, but people from every group have, even the Cubans who don't normally support us, even they came out and have attacked Trump for the awful things that he said, which are hateful and lead to, you know, hate crimes and things like that. And the two most popular Halloween costumes this year were Donald Trump and his Chapo Guzman in their respective countries. And so here I have the Chapo chasing Donald Trump. One of my favorite pictures. The presidential campaign season, though, is the best. It's so easy. Not only Trump now, the next guy is Ben Carson, who's hilarious. And this was a cartoon I did a couple weeks ago about his comments after a school shooting and how he would be such a hero. And that was just, he would stop the gunman by jumping on him and doing all this stuff. And little did we know that he has turned out to be quite a storyteller. And they're calling him Dr. Benocchio, which is kind of, I wish I had thought of that one. I may just steal it and draw him. This is Jeb Bush's new campaign logo. If you remember, he had his, it used to stand straight up. He's got electoral dysfunction now. Immigrant Mouse was a comic I did back in 1994 during the Proposition 187 era in California. And that law was, anti-Mexican immigrant law that, basically stated the main two things were undocumented immigrants could not use public services, and the second part was if you're any kind of public employee, you must report, you must report if you suspect someone's undocumented, which is basically like 1930s Gestapo stuff. You must report on this person, or else we're going to sue you. Is what they did here. That you could be sued, which is stupid. And so and the worst part was they were trying to get teachers to do that. If teachers suspected that the kids' parents were undocumented, they were supposed to report them. And it's like they're teachers, they're not border patrol agents, And so that kind of stuff is deputizes everyone to become anti-immigrant. So I did that back then, and it was my first viral cartoon that I did that before there was any viral. People would like march with it, redraw it, or blow it up on Xerox. It was pretty cool. 3 years ago, the Walt Disney Company's lawyers attempted to trademark the term. The other was one of those for a movie that we had not heard of that was coming down the pipeline. They thought that that name was going to be the name of the movie that they were working on. And so I did this Muerto Mouse about the topic. And actually, myself and other people that started petitions, we actually, in about 24 hours, we got Disney to withdraw all the trademark for that. And they never apologized. They just said, "Whoops." And it's probably what happened was, their lawyers are probably not a very diverse bunch and had no one that could tell them, "Hey guys, this looks terrible." It looks like you're trying to trademark a holiday that's only about 2,000 years old. Maybe you should rethink it. So we had to spank them and tell them. And since then, and too much controversy, I was asked by Pixar, the company that's making the movie, to be a cultural consultant on the film. And so I accepted because it's a pretty cool project. The movie's called Coco, and it's coming out in 2017. I'm not really allowed to talk about it, except that it's all set in Mexico, and so it's like 100% Mexican characters and casting, which is revolutionary for a mainstream film like that. And this movie's going to be like any Pixar movie. They're translated into 54 languages. So this thing is super important, and Like I've told one of my haters that, these movies are made with us or without us, and I think it's better for us to be at the table to try to, be in the belly of the beast.